The modern ones now, RNT, Rich and Tone, John Stevens. Questions? Joey, where are you? First thing you gotta learn how to call. The mallard hen. Yeah. You give that call to attract the hen to your decoys. The simplest thing is a quack, Joey. Simple. Okay? How many of you guys try it? Come on. Don't be shy. I want to hear it. That's good. Musical instrument. Not a musical instrument. It's a duck call. Okay. You got your spread out in the decoys. You heard a single mallard call. The next thing, they're way off. Joey, give them the high ball. Then, not bad. The next thing is a chuckle. Your feet call. Everybody know what that is? Joey? Let me hear you. You can also call pintails, but you should use a whistle. Everybody knows that, right? Widget?
Somebody's got one.
Somebody got one? Anybody got a pintail whistle? Here, Bono? No? All right. I should have brought one. I didn't. But that. Teal, what do you do for teal, Joey?
Just real short, choppy. Basically the same thing, but just cut it off real quick with your tongue. And that's what you hear them when they're sitting still.
That's about it for the puddle ducks. Black ducks respond well a little bit. Only the hen black duck calls. Diving ducks. Some guys call, some don't. You give them the meow. You guys can do that?
I've seen chainsaws used.
Try it. There you go. That guy's got it. It's called like a cat meow. You can kill canvasbacks, bluebills, ringbills with that. That's your basic calling. Again, Joey, you tell them the basics, when to call, how the birds work, and when to shut up. Run through a routine.
Basically, any one of you that have hunted, you know when you got them far out, you're going to hit them hard, you're going to hit them fast. Once they turn, back off a little bit. They're coming in a little bit closer, they're working you, they're starting to set up, feed. If you get progressed past that point, you can throw a quack in with that. Just go ahead, try it. Do your feed, and then once you get to that feed part, you can throw that in a little bit. Like Joe said when he started, the worst thing people can do is hit them just because they can blow a call. Some of the worst duck callers are some of the best duck call blowers. Buy that, like Joe said, once they're working you, don't hit them hard. Don't just blow a call because you can blow a call. Let them do what they're going to do. React to what they're doing. If they're coming, the only thing you can do at that point is screw it up. Does that make sense to everybody, or has anybody got any questions on that?
No questions? Boy, you guys all are good.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Comeback call.
Comeback call, if you've got them coming and they start breaking off, it's the same thing as when you originally hit them. I mean, hit them hard. Get real aggressive. Let them think, uh-oh, we might need to turn back around. We missed something. Once you get them turning back around, get them looking again, back off again. If they start peeling off every time you do back off, stay on them a little bit more. Some days are different than others. If it's windy, you may need to hit them all the way till when you shoot. Other days, you could hit them when they're out there and they're coming. It just depends on the day. And like we had said, react to what they're doing. So if they're bailing when you're letting off, stay on them a little longer.
You find that your high ball is different than your comeback?
Yes, mine, yeah, but that's just my personal, yeah. Mine is, I hit it a lot faster, a lot choppier when I'm going to come back. I really want to get their attention now. I don't want to let them get past that point where it's already too late. They're going to somebody else. They see somebody else's decoys flap or whatever, and then you're just causing problems and screaming. Yeah.
Timber calling in regard to open water calling, and do you ever use a different call?
I do.
The softer call? For
I do. I have this one when I'm hunting in a smaller pothole. It's a lot lighter than when you heard this one. That you can tell that it doesn't have that. That's got a lot higher pitch to it. This one's a lot barred down a little bit more as a cut down. That also said, I've been in timber holes before where you really hit them hard, but there again, once they start working, back off, let them do what they're going to do.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the contest calling routines is different than...
Contest calling routine is nothing like anybody will ever use when they're hunting. If anybody is ever blowing a contest routine when they're hunting, that goes back to the amazing duck call blower not being a good duck caller. Who can give me an answer what I mean by a great duck call blower compared to a good duck caller? Anybody? Go ahead.
A good blower would be like the guy who just goes full at it, like when he's in a contest, and then, but whenever he really hunts, he's not very good because he just doesn't really think about it. And then the other one would be pays attention to what the duck's doing.
That's exactly right.
Very good.
Pardon?
Pardon?
No. There's one. That's a great answer. You're gonna get one call for that.
Nah, we give him a pocket knife.
Pocket knife. I'm sorry. Joe had other prizes.
He's got a call.
He gets pocket knife. The other question somebody's getting. The other thing.
You'll cut your finger with that now.
The other question, that's a great answer. That's exactly what I meant by it. That's exactly what I meant by it. Some of the guys that can blow a duck call and know your tone, being able to do 90 seconds without making a mistake.
Run a routine. Contest.
You run
Just like that. Just like that.
Come on.
Explain what a routine is. Where do you start?
Great. Contest routine, like Joe had said, you start out with your high ball. So when they do go into a contest routine, you still got to do basically the same steps. You're hitting at a flock of ducks that's somewhere out by the bridge. So that's when you're going to start with your high ball, but it's nowhere near what you would do when you're hunting. It's a... It's just control. It's knowing that you have to hit so many notes and step them all the way down. It's nothing you would ever do in a in a duck blind. Once you hit your high ball, you're going to go into your duck a little bit. Just like we had said, the ducks turn when you're doing it, so you're going to... So that's your next part. From there, you go into your feed. Every contest routine is the same but different. From your duck, you can go into your feed, your as I was talking about, throwing the quacks into your feed. From there, just like you're hunting, you got to imagine, okay, you're feeding, you got them ducks coming in, and I let off them. I was feeding. Boom. They flared. They're going back towards the bridge. So you come back. You got to hit your comeback. So that's a... So, just like you're hunting, even though it's nothing like you're going to do, it's the same scenario. Now they turned again, so you got to drop back off of it. At the end, you finally got your ducks coming. They're locked up, they're going. You're into your feed. You're into your feed, you're into your feed, and you're done. That's it. But you have to do that consecutively, 90 seconds, taking a breath at a certain point, and just control the air, basically is what it is. That's it, as far as that.
There's a saying, learn to read the birds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't sit there with your head down. Watch how the birds react. Some days you can blow your head off. Sunny, windy days. My wife could call them on those days.
No, I
Other
can't.
days, no. Questions?
For these young guys to begin to not use their cheeks and use their diaphragm, what words, I mean, do you think there's a few...
I've been actually going through this with that one right there because he's learning how to blow a short reed as well as spec call, so he needs to have that air, so it's hard to go from one way to the other. The best advice I can give somebody is come from down here, but something that I do with him, and I'll do it with him as well.
Well, he's got a separator.
Blow it out of my hand. Okay. Where did that air come from? No, it didn't come from your cheeks. Believe it or not, your cheeks didn't puff. You didn't think about it, you just did it. See, now I thought about it. But the first time you didn't do it, and that's the best advice I can give somebody is tell them to basically blow that off your hand through the back of the call. Because when they're doing that, they're coming from down here. They're not just...
So have the call in his mouth backwards and have him blow all the way through it.
And when I'm working with somebody on a goose call especially, that's a great technique, is putting the call backwards so they can hear your note. I mean, they can hear when you're cutting it off, where you're cutting it off. If I just blow the note, you can't hear the air. But if you turn it around, you can hear exactly where you're cutting it off and when. That's the best advice I can give somebody that has been taught to me. I honestly started blowing a duck call when I was my little one's age in a blind, annoying the heck out of these guys weekend in and weekend out. So that's where it was just drilled into my head over and over and over. So how I was taught, I don't really remember. That's the easiest way that I found to find my son able to do it and pick up on it.
Any other questions? All right, we'll get it. You get up here and get the seminar. Better than me. All right, Joey, run through the goose call. That's pretty good.
Cannon call. There's a lot of different calls out there. Find whatever one you're comfortable with. I blow a foils. I love that call. I've got a little longer one over here. It's a rich in tone. This one's got a little bit different end on it. My hands are small, so this one's hard for me to blow compared to this one, but I get a lot deeper note. Find one that you're comfortable with and one that can break over. You sound great on it. All the different calls that I've blown, the groundses, the zincs, the foils, the refuge, the rich in tones, I've blown them all. Just find one you're comfortable with, one you can really get to crack over. That's the biggest thing I can say is get your main note. Your hands are key with a short reed. Flutes, how many guys here blow a flute? Flutes are pretty self-explanatory. You can use your hands to do whatever. He learned on, my son learned on a flute, and that was one of the biggest problems. Kids nowadays don't need to learn on a flute. They have that advantage to blow a short reed, and there's so many amazing calls out there. You can learn how to blow them relatively easy. The biggest thing is get a goose call you can blow comfortably. Just because it's somebody's name and you want to have that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best call for you. As you guys saw in the museum and up here, Joe has some of the most amazing calls in the world. He's going to pick a goose call that he can blow. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest name in the world. If he can't blow it, it's no good. Right? Okay.
No, I blow the cheap ones mainly.
I was just going to say, and I've gone through that hype with Joe. Joey, give me this. Okay. And I get it, and we blow it. I don't like it. Retune it. Okay, I retuned it. It wasn't comfortable for him. Find something that you're comfortable with. Don't think you have to go crazy and get all kinds of different notes. You don't. Get the basic. Not even a moan, but that's it. Just your clucks. How many geese I kill every year just clucking and moaning. That's it. You don't have to do all this big fancy stuff. Is it cool for a TV video? Sure. But do you need to do it? No. I'll tell you what, for another prize, who can tell me the best goose call out there? The most important best goose call out there. Go ahead.
The one that you can blow best.
Go ahead.
Standard one.
A what?
Standard one.
Standard one? No.
The flag.
This right here. This is the most important goose call you can ever have. Because all those guys that are blowing them crazy notes and everything, they may sound good on, like I said, TV and everything else. But Joe can tell you, we've hunted geese a lot together. And if we were to leave the house and drive 2 hours over to Braidwood, and we left our calls at home, nobody would care. We'd be okay with it. If we drove 2 hours and we left these at home, we would turn around and drive back. And we'd done it. Trust me. So that is the most important goose call you can have. And I can do just the basic notes while I'm doing it. Simple. You don't have to do all the fancy stuff. If you can flag, make a couple easy notes that... That's all you really have to do. That's the best advice I could give anybody that's starting out. For geese, make sure you have one of these. A call will come next. Make sure you have a flag. That's key. Snow geese, stay away from them. They're a pain in the butt.
That's Mr. Starver. He's our resident snow goose hunter. Hunted Saskatchewan, South Dakota, Illinois, where else?
Nebraska, Missouri.
And what's your opinion on them?
Save your money.
They're nuts. Go with an outfitter. Don't even worry about it. You'll do it and have fun. Don't worry about it. Speckle bellies. This is a speck call. Specks are becoming more and more common in our area. When I was younger, heck, I don't think I killed my first speckle belly until I was probably 21, 22, and I was down in Arkansas, but just a few years back, we finally got into them around here. I would recommend for these younger guys, learn how to blow a speck call. It's not the hardest thing to learn how to blow. It's a different cadence, I guess you would say, but they sound a lot different. They're easy. It's just a lot of... If you can hear it, it's just a short, choppy. It's not like your duck call where you're dragging it out. It's not like your Canada call where you're pinching off the roof of your mouth and you're talking about it. These are becoming more and more common in our area. We're seeing more and more specks. I would be real surprised by the time these kids over here are my age that this isn't as far down as they go, or you don't see them going much further. I think it'll get a lot more regular around here.
I think they're going to extend the spec season, maybe even into the spring. Certain states, I mean, a lot of you won't believe this, California they're shooting 10 a day till February 25th. And there are more specs now around here than I've ever seen. John?
Yeah. And these young guys are even, I'm almost too young to remember it. Southern Illinois, I don't know how furthest southern person here. Southern Illinois used to be the goose capital of the world every year.
That's where you go.
Cairo and all that stuff down there. And now, there's no Canada geese. They're up in the city, they're up in the suburbs, Braidwood, LaSalle Lake. I mean, I know we get them around here in Canton, but I just see these birds stopping further and further north, and I would be real surprised if you don't see these specks, the snow, stuff like that, stopping in this area sooner than later. Any other questions?
Anybody?
Does the taste of geese vary like ducks?
Taste? Labor Day party. And all the wives were there, and I had been doing these goose kebabs that year. We had shot geese the day before on Sunday. He had the party on Monday. And we didn't tell any of the ladies what they were eating. And I had made 30 of them, something like that. And they were fighting over them. The women were actually fighting over them. They're amazing. Where'd you get these kebabs? And my cousin, of all people, spit out a BB right in front of all of them. And he said, "You missed the pellet." And all he said was, "You better go." So, but that said, there's different things you can do with them. I mean,
John, what do you do with your snow geese when you kill them?
Dress them out. I mean, we do everything with them. We make burger out of them. Don't be afraid to eat snow geese. I'm going to tell you, they're on grain from September till they migrate back through here. And they're some of the finest tasting birds.
Yeah, you got to get them when they get on a grain. When they first come out of the tundra, all they're eating is grass. And this is just my experience. I spent a lot of time in Saskatchewan, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And Donna and I have a lot of birds to dispose of. We're hooked up with 2 reservations, Indians. And the natives, first of all, they want mallards. Second, the Canada geese and the specks. I really got to bribe them to take the snow geese. I mean, I really got to bribe them. A couple packs of cigarettes, $5 for the gas to come and get them. For whatever it's worth. Because they just come out of the tundra, and I think, like John said, there's a way difference when they get on the grain.
Yeah, they got to be on the grain for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
You're correct. Anything else?
the kids that are here, if you blow these duck calls and you can't do it, if you do know what you're doing with them and you can't blow them, something's wrong with it, you want me to play with it a little bit, I do have stuff here to fix those calls.
I mean, any you should try.
So if there's something, if you can blow it right now, if you can tell it's too hard, way too hard, reach too thick, I got to put a little bit shorter reed, longer reed, whatever. I do have this stuff with me. I can fix them now while you guys are getting a snack or whatever. So if you want to try them out, that's fine. Other than that, if you have any other questions, that's fine. Yo.
One time I left some goose meat in the microwave a little too long and ended up making pretty good jerky. And some seasoning to it.
You know what? Goose jerky is really, really good. Goose jerky is really good. It really is. A friend of ours makes, and I don't know what recipe, Bones, the one he does with like liquid smoke.
Oh, I don't know. Jeanette does it.
It's fabulous. I mean, there's different goose jerky recipes out there, but goose jerky can be really good.
I think she actually grinds it up and makes like a paste.
No, they have the slicer.
Oh, do they slice it?
Yep,
okay.
I don't think they grind it. But yeah. Yo.
Can you speak a little bit to flight pattern? So I hear from, I'm from the same area you guys are from, the Illinois River Valley, South Peoria area. And you hear guys talk about, Lake Diffuse, National Line, all these places that the sky was black, you didn't even have to call, they just fall into your hole, and it's up and down and up and down. I backed off because you get seemingly, I'm not in the right spot, but you get pushes. You get a couple pushes a year and then it's done. Is that the same across the state? Do you see, you guys are in it all the time, so I'm just curious what you see.
He is more so than me, but I talk to a lot of people that go everywhere, including Joe, everything down to Arkansas, east of here, west of here, Mississippi River, that kind of thing. I would say a big problem is the weather. I mean, there's still birds north of us. And birds don't have to come down here. Cooling lakes really hurts us. How many birds sit at Braidwood, LaSalle, those same lakes that I said where the geese stop? But I go to Arkansas every year. There's birds down there. Now, there's birds down there what used to be 40 years ago, Joe? No, they're not. The numbers aren't there. you don't want to hear my personal opinion, because Joe and I will probably start arguing, but I think flappers, Canada, high limits in Canada, and I think a lot of people going to Canada now and getting.
Oh, no doubt about it.
I think that's one of the worst things that could be going on right now for, like, let's just say you're asking about our flat lake. That's my personal opinion.
I'll interject this.
I know what's coming.
I do too. That's
This last Illinois duck season was the worst, or one of the worst on history.
55 years.
Huh?
55 years. I gotta get you a year.
definitely.
For me, I've been hunting since 1960. I shot more mallards with a 1 mallard limit. Now, all of the major clubs are down. Randy Roots, Princeton, Biggie, Saskatchewan. Some of the best places you can hunt would be the state ground. But, that being said, the hunting pressure in North Dakota, Saskatchewan is tenfold. And it's about money. Up until 5 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sarver, no American guides were allowed to guide in Saskatchewan. The Canadian guys are lazy, dumb, and they didn't know how to kill them. Now, you get Tony Vandemore comes up there and buys zones. In Saskatchewan, you have to hunt in a zone. He buys 5 zones. He comes up with 10 American guides, truckloads of decoys, 4 or 5 spinners, 8, 10 guys laying out there. Believe me, they know how to kill them and do kill them. I see it. Right, John? The hunting pressure in North Dakota, Saskatchewan, Manitoba is tenfold because of American guides. The average guy, so many of them that go up there now and hunt with guys like Tony, you can't blame Tony, he's in business. They couldn't go up there on their own. They couldn't go up there and find birds, put out decoys and layout line. But they can pay him $1,500 for 3 or 4 days and just show up with their shotgun. They are shooting the young ducks. Me too. Raise my hand. My wife and I. But my wife and I, we're not 10 guys a day, and they not only shoot them in the morning, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarver, they pound them in the evening in those rest areas. That's the biggest deal. The minute the American guides come up there, you could never hunt on Sunday. Guess what they got changed? Sunday. That, with the poor hatch, the cooling lakes, it stopped the migration of birds. When I joined Princeton Duck Club, Goose Pond, 200,000. When he was a little kid, you look over the dike, it looked like plowed field.
You wouldn't see water, you'd see like a mallard.
You'd drive down through the ditch.